Welcome to an introduction to the MCU Student Council. It's that time of year again where we are inviting all of the MCU student community to consider volunteering to serve on the Student Council for the 2020 school year. So this presentation is just an attempt to introduce you to the basics of the Student Council and answer some of your questions. My name is Jody Palmer. I'm a house mentor and a faculty here at MCU, and I also serve as the liaison, the support liaison for the Student Council. First of all, what does the Student Council do? The Student Council has a mission statement that's outlined as follows, that is used as really the guide and support for guiding the functions and the projects of the Student Council. First, the Student Council is a vehicle for student advocacy and representation. So this is where students can come to have their voice heard, express concerns or needs, or ideas they have for the Student Council to help the MCU student body community connect. Number two, to contribute as a stakeholder to MCU's decision-making processes. So MCU commits to including student voices through the Student Council in their policy development and projects. So the Student Council really is considered a stakeholder to MCU's processes of making decisions. Three, to positively contribute to the MCU culture of fostering outward mindset and crucial conversations. So this is a way for student leaders to really support the unique culture of how we do conflict differently here at MCU. And fourth, to build peer connection within the MCU student body to really support activities and projects that bond and build connection within the MCU student body community. Why do you want to serve on Student Council? Well, first, you can be the change you wish to see in the school and student community. So if there are things that are really burning inside you to have an effect on changing or bringing to MCU, this is the perfect vehicle to begin doing that. Also, if you care about advocacy, being a vehicle for student voices is a great way to engage in that value. Next, you can learn project management and tech skills that will really serve you in your career later. You also have an opportunity to develop leadership skills by working directly with MCU leadership teams and the board of directors. And you also get an insider's view into the management and processes of MCU. So this can really help you as you're building community and organizations and businesses in the future. And then, of course, you can add this experience to your resume. But hopefully, ultimately, this is a really, really fun experience where you get to build relationship with other peers at MCU, some deeper working relationships, and just have a great time working on something meaningful and really building and contributing something to the MCU community. So here's some details of frequently asked questions about the Student Council. Who can serve on the Student Council? So any degree-seeking student that is new or seasoned can participate. How much time does it take? So the Student Council will meet for a minimum of once a month to discuss, student council activities and student concerns. And so those meetings are approximated for about an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then each council member will also help in the accomplishment of the council's 3 primary projects over the course of the year. So your additional time commitment can vary depending on what those projects are and your engagement in them. But there's an estimation of about an additional 4 to 7 hours per month. So that's a total of about 6 to 10 hours per month doing student council. So about 6 to 10 hours a month. How long is the commitment? So Student council begins in the fall when you submit your volunteer application and you are trained over the course of 2 months. And then you have a 1-year active service starting in January to December. So it's a little bit over a year. You start in the end of the fall semester being trained, and then you do your active council service over the course of the next year from January to December. And then what is the structure of the student council? How does it actually work? So the student council currently works on a horizontal committee model. So that means there isn't a president and a vice president and a secretary, but rather there are 3 standing committees that do the consistent work of the student council. And then whatever projects or goals the student council is working on can be divided additionally into committees. But the 3 standing committees, and you could be part of one of these committees or not, you could just be a council member. But the 3 standing committees are first the coordination committee. And this committee is responsible for the overall management of the council. So those are things like setting meetings, providing minutes, monitoring overall progress towards the council's primary goals and projects. And then there's the Student Connection Committee. So this committee is responsible for receiving and responding to and managing any student concerns or needs that come to the council. The third standing committee is the Legacy Committee, which is responsible for the transfer of care from one student council to the next. And then the student council identifies about 3 goals or projects that it wants to complete over the course of a year. So the council's work will be focused on completing those 3 goals or projects. So as a council member, you could be part of one of those committees if it's particularly interesting or attractive to you, or you could just serve as a committee member working on various elements of the 3 projects or goals. How do you join the student council? So I'm going to share with you the student council website at the end of this presentation, but essentially every fall, the MCU student body is invited to consider volunteering to serve on the student council. So if you're interested in either volunteering yourself or nominating someone to volunteer, then you would just complete the volunteer form on the website, on the student council website. So when you go to that website, there's just a tab at the top that says volunteer. You click on that and then you fill out that form. Then what happens is the current council will vet those volunteers to make sure they feel confident about their time commitment availability, to make sure that they're a degree-seeking student, and just to answer questions about what it means to be on student council. And then the outgoing student council will support the transfer of care of the new student council through the fall semester. So you'll be still working with the old council for a couple of months while you kind of get your footing under you. And then the new student council will begin their term at the beginning of the winter term in January. So we hope that this answers most of your questions. If you have any other questions about student council, you can reach out to me, Jody Palmer, through your student Gmail account. Just open an email and begin typing my name and it should self-populate for you. Or you can contact the student council directly just by going to the website and clicking on the contact form. And that will connect you directly with the student council. You can also see who's on the student council currently on that website and reach out to any of them with questions you might have about serving. The student council website is found here at the top of the screen, or you can also find it in the student menu section of the SIS system and in the school-wide events and announcements in Canvas. So we're looking forward to those of you who are interested in contributing to the MCU community in this way. Applications or volunteer forms will be taken through this week, through Monday, October 21st, I believe. So if you're interested in serving, please get your volunteer form in over the course of this week until between now and October 21st. All right. Thanks, everybody.